I don't remember the house name, the villa something lah. Aku memang kat situ sorang-sorang. Okay, tapi okay je lah. Suddenly there's a car stop belakang I. Ini dia ketuk tingkap I.
Oh wow.
Kat sini kalau nak masuk kena buka pagar ni. Lepas masuk kena tutup balik pagar tu, takut lembu masuk. The house is like very huge and then ada kolam whatsoever. And then I realised that the room semua ada nama. Ada nama mawar, cempaka. Waktu malam tu barulah I tergerak hati nak baca the reviews on the Google.
And then?
Selalunya I will always do like before that. So when I read the reviews, everything is about ghosts.
Ayo. Serious?
Yes.
Welcome back to another episode of
Naik Bulu Tales.
My name is Fairil.
And I'm Moe.
And here we are again. 50th plus 50 episodes, man. More than
This would be episode 52. But we're excited because this month itself, even though Bulan Ramadan, we have four episodes, four guests that we're shooting.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, so but before we go ahead, we want to remind everybody to please subscribe, like, comment down below, and share with
everyone. Tell your friends about us.
Yeah, we hope you guys have been enjoying our episodes, and again, we're very, very thankful and appreciative of everybody who's been commenting and liking and just watching our content. And we just hope we can keep giving you guys better content each time.
Quality shows. We'll do our best, inshallah. So I'm excited for this guest, Fairil Dessa, because just like Justwin, she was a IG follower that messaged us saying, "Hey, I have a story." This guest is from TikTok, and I'm glad she saw our reel and she wanted to share. I love guests like this. They're very proactive.
Yeah.
So without further ado, give a nice NBT welcome to Umaira.
Hi everyone.
How are you?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. So what made you want to reach out?
Before that, I think some story that I know, and I think everyone else need to know as well, because everyone have a very different stories. So when I watch stories on TikTok, because TikTok is the most one platform that people will watch every day new stories, so why not I'm sharing like my story that people don't know about that.
Yeah.
Before we get into the stories, just maybe you can tell a little bit about yourself, just real quick. What do you do?
My name is Umaira Bajrai. You can call me Umaira. I'm 27 this year, still young.
Still very young.
And then I'm studying in International Islamic University of Gombak.
Oh yes, URA.
Yeah, I'm taking political science and law, and then part-time host and moderator as well. So this story is actually related as well, because it's before I entered to International Islamic University. So the story that I would like to share is actually happened before I enter my campus.
Okay, exciting. Origin story.
Well, the table is yours.
So before I started my degree at my campus, I was working in this one restaurant. I don't know if I can share the name.
Is it still around?
Is
the restaurant still there?
It's still around.
Up to you.
It's in Publica.
Okay.
So I was for sales. I was doing executive sales, and I'm doing PR as well. So my boss, she's a very beautiful young lady. So she's a very young, and then she wanted to do like a retreat. So even before that, they have like a retreat to Aita Joan, whatever, but I never joined, because for me, like the one day holiday, I wanted to just go with my family. She planned to go to this one place in Jandebai. So in Jandebai, they book like a one, what do we call? It's like a big
bungalow kind of.
Bungalow, yeah. So technically, macam, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna go because that's not my job scope. So I don't like go further reading about the place or whatsoever. So that time I already resigned, but I think this is the opportunity for me to have like a retreat with all the staff as well, the colleague. Yeah. So the story began with the way that we wanted to go there. The other because I have one friend that we work together that I know her before we worked at the same company, and my friend will be going with another car. I mean, like they have like 4 car, but I'm on my way alone from Gombak because I'm driving. And at the same time, last time they agreed to bergerak dalam pukul 9 malam, and unfortunately someone is like, you know, when you wanted to go travel, there will be always one person yang suka sidai orang, right? Dia macam kaki sidai lah.
Ya, memang kenal.
Macam kau lah punca segalanya. And then he was so late, and then macam okay lah, and then lambat until that time I think dah 10 like that, 10 PM.
Oh, lambat.
Yes, and then mestilah someone like wanted to isi minyak first whatever, because from KL to Janda Baik kan. So 10:30 like that, and then I isi minyak, and they all like really late. Like me, I'm very fast person. I macam tak suka lambat.
Yeah.
So at the same time they say okay, we meet at the before to Gombak dekat apa nama, Petronas. Okay. And then we will go together. So pergi, and then another one kereta tak sampai lagi. Have to wait at the genting, apa genting?
Oh, the genting sampah.
Ya, kat bawah tu. And then tunggu. At the same time I was talking on the phone with someone. So I cakap dengan orang, tak apalah, I'm talking to someone, I wanted to discuss a few things. So I'll just drive alone lah, because it's easier for me to move, and I don't want people to hear what I'm talking. So I cakap okay, korang naik je lah kereta lain. And then bila dah sampai dekat genting tu, I macam mana diorang ni lambatnya. Lepas tu saya dah tengah cakap telefon, because I already have the location of the house. I thought they are going together with me. So unfortunately actually they left behind. Dia orang dah tunggu dekat the Petronas lah. So I macam okay, while on the phone I dah ada location, jalan je lah.
As in you thought dia orang akan convoy sekali lah.
I didn't thought like they are going to stop there. Sebab I pun macam dah tengah cakap telefon kan, sebab lambat. Macam
kenapa gerak lewat in the first place?
Sebab seorang tu lambat.
Right.
Memang nak gerak malam lah.
Ya.
Memang
sebab diorang habis kerja after 6.
This is Friday lah.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Okay,
yeah.
faham. So lepas kerja. Okay.
Yes. Tapi it wasn't planned to be that late lah. I think and then I dah gerak-gerak, I dah tengah on call whatsoever. I pun jalan dekat Janda Baik kan. Tapi I macam usually I just baca doa whatsoever jalan. And then I naik atas semua. Macam ada lagi line. Lepas tu kawan, I lupa nak text dia orang, I macam dah sampai kat belah separuh jalan. And I was like I have to tell them, tapi biarlah tengah on call, sebab I think like my work stuff to talk to someone is more important than untuk tunggu orang lah. So I pun jalan. I think that time like almost 11 lah. So I pun sampai that one, the place is I don't remember the house name, the villa something lah. So I pun jalan sampai dah on the call apa semua. Macam okay, dah sampai lah pula, cepatnya aku sampai. I macam okay. So when I arrived there, they tulis lah ada something like nombor rumah, nama house tu. And when I arrived, I told my friend, okay lah bro, aku dah sampai, so aku nak call diorang, tak tahu pula diorang ni kat mana. I pun letak. And then suddenly tak ada line. Maksudnya the time that I was driving, there is line but no internet. When I end the call, there is no line at all, like no bar at all. And when I arrived, there is pagar. Okay, pagar. So I pun macam, yang tu dah nak aku sebelah lebih, macam duduk je dalam kereta dulu. Lepas tu I macam, what should I do next? So macam okay, maybe they will arrive lah kan. I cakap maybe they will arrive. And then suddenly I was like waiting for 5 minutes like that, and then I buka radio pun macam aku cakap nak buat apa ni. Tapi macam okay, tak apalah, because my car is tinted very very dark. So macam aku memang kat situ sorang-sorang, okay, tapi okay je lah. Suddenly there's a car stop belakang I don't think dia matikan engine, tapi nampak lampu dia ketuk tingkap I.
Oh wow.
Okay. And then macam I buka tingkap sikit lah, dia macam pakcik. Lepas tu macam ya? Macam dalam hati aku, kau ni siapa pula ni? And I was like dia tanya, awak nak masuk ke? Ya, saya nak pergi villa atas tu. Dia kata, oh, kat sini kalau nak masuk kena buka pagar ni. Lepas masuk kena tutup balik pagar tu, takut lembu masuk.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, ingat like
Time tu I tak fikir lagi ada ke lembu dekat atas bukit ni. Saya macam okay. Lepas tu dia pun tak apalah pakcik buka kan, dia kata. I macam okay, terima kasih. Memang I tak turun lah, dia dah buka. I pun masuk. I naik atas sekali, dia macam ada rumah. So uncle tu I think nampak kot dia tutup that pagar. So bila I naik atas, I nampak that house. Memang atas sekali lah. Dia memang janda baik tu, that place is like memang paling atas lah. So when I arrive, suddenly baru ada internet. So my friend, I banyak lah dapat call WhatsApp. Dia orang cakap mana you. Kata I hantar gambar, I dah sampai. And then I cakap, I pesan dekat diorang, dah sampai nanti ada pagar, buka pagar tu, lepas tu tutup balik. Okay, I pesan that one. And then bila I sampai, I turun, lepas tu I macam sebab dah malam kan, macam rumah ni I don't say like I feel something bad, tapi I rasa macam dah lama je rumah ni. And then ada orang buka pintu that house that diorang dah book lah. And it is like macam Indonesian, it's like a uncle lah, macam wak lah, macam pakai kain pelikat with kopiah, and then he has like macam ada apa, macam serban yang kat leher tu kan. Lepas tu dia tanya, nak kau seorang je ke? Seorang je. I macam tak ada fikir negatif that time. Lepas tu kata, mana yang lain? Diorang belum sampai lagi, nak masuk dulu ke? Oh tak apa, terima kasih, sebab dia lelaki seorang kan. So I macam it's okay lah, no need lah. So after that, few minutes after that, I was sitting, and then I cakap my friend, masuk sini apa semua. And then my friend seorang marah lah, aku risau tau, takut kau hilang tadi. Cakap tak apa, aku tak kena culik pun. And then bila dah sampai tu, diorang pun semua sampai masuk, ramai-ramai lah, because the workers is like ramai jugalah. Ada macam orang Bangladesh apa semua. So macam diorang, sebab rumah tu memang besar. So bila masuk tu, I realised that there's a rak buku, and rak buku tu macam dah berabuk tau. So I love to read book. So I tengok buku ni kan, I macam tengok, lepas tu I ambil. Lepas tu macam lama gila buku ni. I macam, rumah ni berapa lama actually? Macam tu lah, I was thinking like that. And then there's a Karen. Lepas tu macam Karen macam tak lama sangat. And then I can see that the house is not really clean. Sebab I don't say macam I mengada-ngada, tapi kalau dah ada macam ada not really clean tu, I don't really like it lah. And then bila I masuk, semua orang macam excited lah, because the house is like very huge, and then ada kolam whatsoever. And then I realised that the room semua ada nama. Ada nama mawar, cempaka, nama-nama bunga lah whatsoever. And then the wak yang kat situ, dia duduk dekat dapur. Dia ada satu bilik yang dia duduk dekat dapur with her wife. So I macam, kenapa dia kena duduk kat situ if we are going to be there? Tapi I macam, lantak kau lah, sebab aku macam nak have fun je kan. So after that I was going to the room, and then kita orang macam pilih lah room. Cik, bilik ni besar ni. Kita cakap with my boy, miss, kita tidur sini lah apa semua, because like for the girls, right? And then that room is ada connected to outdoor, so we can go out. And then my friend was like sitting there, and then dia macam nak isap rokok lah, semua duduk. Dia kata, this is sudut terbaik untuk I duduk. Dia kata macam okay. And then bila kita orang masuk balik, macam we are checking the house, but I realised that there's no one like macam bagi salam betul-betul masuk rumah tu. Okay. So waktu kita orang tengah explore the room that I wanted to sleep kan, kita letak barang sikit, and then kita lalu ada satu tandas. Lepas tu tandas tu macam, lepas tu kawan I, this Indian dia kata, kawan cakap bau busuk sial. Lepas tu macam, you weh. Lepas tu macam dapat risau, I pun spray. Dengan lajunya I pergi spray je, tak apa nanti hilang bau ni. Lepas tu kawan macam okay jalan. And then keluar after that, ada my friend seorang celebrating birthday, macam makan kek. Lepas tu macam budak tu dia suap I kek tu. Lepas tu macam, are you okay? And dia macam, she wasn't look like really okay that time. Dia macam maybe on her period pain or something lah. Okay. So dia bagi I kek. Lepas tu dia macam sakit perut, dia kata nak pergi toilet. I macam okay. And then she went to that toilet that I said that bau busuk. Lepas saya pun macam okay pergilah. Lepas tu macam I pun cakap dengan kau, aku pula sakit perut. Lepas tu macam ketuk-ketuk pintu, cakap, babe, kau kat toilet ke? Kau buat apa? Berak macam tu. Berak lah kau macam tu. And then dah cakap dengan member I, member dah rasmi dulu dah tandas, aku baru nak pergi. I cakap macam tu lah. But I didn't realise that that's one of the started point lah sebenarnya.
Right.
Because that toilet is the one yang macam busuk, and she was the one using that.
Right.
And then after that kita orang pun macam jalan-jalan, macam borak-borak, duduk. And then dekat sebelah kolam tu ada satu table kita orang boleh duduk. So we were sitting there, and like people just like enjoying, chilling apa semua.
Depan
and then
rumah lah, the grass area.
yeah, this one yang dekat bilik tu, this one ada turun tangga. This one is kolam is really huge, very very huge, and sebelah sana semua ada hutan. And then we are sitting here kat sini, and dekat dalam ada orang lain. Ada this one chef macam bawa anak dia 2 orang, and then ada orang karaoke kat dalam. So macam I pula macam tak ada dia, I will be like macam persinggahan, singgah sini. So last spot is lepas I dah pergi kat dapur, I pergi dekat karaoke, I dah nyanyi 1 lagu 2 lagu gelak-gelak, I pun belah pergi keluar, and then duduk dekat sini. And then kita orang pun borak gelak-gelak, macam enjoy. Lepas tu macam dia orang pun cakap, you are leaving from this company. Cakap ya. Lepas tu cakap lah, manusia datang dan pergi. Dia cakap dia orang saja je lah. Tapi and then after that kita orang chilling. One of my friend yang I know before I work there pun, dia duduk, dia macam tiba-tiba macam dia sakit dada. Sebab I tahu dia macam, dia ni she's a girl yang macam jarang lah dia macam tu kan. Suddenly dia macam tepuk-tepuk dada dia macam ni. Patut macam dia ni kenapa banyak sangat isap rokok ke apa ke. I was like that lah. Tapi macam she wasn't really okay that time. Patut macam dah jom ikut aku pergi bilik. I cakap macam tu. Macam dah jom lah ikut bilik kau tidur ni. Sebab mungkin dia penat ke apa kan. But before I bawa dia pergi bilik tu, there's a girl yang I cakap pergi toilet, that one. I kena bagi nama kot kat dia.
Apalah, tukar nama lah.
Toilet girl.
Toilet girl, yeah. The toilet girl.
Toilet girl.
So dia bukan pencuci tandas lah.
Yeah.
So the toilet girl, dia ada datang sekejap, borak-borak, and then chill. And then before kawan I sesak nafas tu, kita tak tahu dia kat mana. Lepas tu cakap kawan, pergilah cari. Dia pun macam cari, ada kot kat sana. So orang datang check, dia datang balik, tak ada lah, manalah toilet girl ni. And then kita tak apalah. And then when I saw my friend wasn't really okay, I cakap dia dah, jom lah pergi bilik. So I bawa dia, I pergi naik tangga whatsoever, lalu tempat karaoke tu. And then I letak dia dalam bilik, I suruh dia tidur. I baca ayat kursi, sebab I dah rasa tak sedap hati sikit time tu. So I pun dudukkan dia, I baringkan dia, I cakap, babe tidur lah. Dia pun macam tidur mati. I pun dah selimutkan dia. I tutup the door. Bilik tu nama Mawar kot, sekarang baru ingat Mawar dah. Then I tutup, I baca ayat kursi lagi sekali. And then bila I keluar daripada situ, dekat tempat karaoke tu, I macam okey lagi. Tapi I rasa macam Naik Bulu Tales lah. I rasa macam naik bulu rumah I lah. So bila kat luar tu, tiba-tiba je ada seorang ni cakap, Ali is crying. Dia cakap someone is crying like that lah. Tapi macam siapa pula dah nangis ni. I macam dah rasa kan benda tu. I thought it was a guy, but actually it was the toilet girl. So bila I dah dengar tu kan, sebab dekat sebelah sana tu ada macam hutan sikit kan, macam something is not right. So what I did is I tell the chef, boleh tak bawa budak-budak masuk bilik. I terus cakap, I kata bawa budak-budak masuk bilik, suruh dia orang tidur, tutup karaoke ni, cakap ni. So that time I pun pergi sana. I dengar, I pergi dekat group of members yang dekat meja sini. I cakap dengan diorang, someone is crying. Diorang pula macam, diorang ingat I main. Sebab diorang tengok I lari kan, diorang macam gelak-gelak dah. Macam, because I think like because they were not mentally okay lah that time. I mean like they was under drugs or something ke. Tapi I don't know.
Mati biasa lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then pergilah. And then pergi, it's actually that toilet girl was hugging the pokok pisang.
Kat mana ni?
Dekat luar. Ya, kat luar. So actually before that, there's a people yang duduk kat sini, nampak dia berjalan dengan slow macam ni. So she was leading to the pokok tu. Lepas tu dia orang try tarik that girl from that tree. She was like crying. I think orang yang tarik dia orang dalam 8-9 orang. They couldn't pull her. I tak pergi tengok sangat, tapi I macam I just baca-baca je lah time tu. I macam it is real, something happening. So this one guy pun baca-baca, and then diorang baca-baca, lepas tu it's like she was sound so different and very loud. It was like nak baca apa. Sekarang semua nak jadi ustaz gitu. Lepas tu macam
in a different voice.
Yeah, suara lain.
Yeah,
Suara lain.
Yeah. Lepas tu I pun macam lepas tu I remember, kan pakcik tu cakap lepas buka pagar kena tutup kan. So I cakap kau I panggil kawan I, weh, jom kita cari pakcik yang cakap kat aku tu, ataupun kita panggil ustaz. I literally was far away from her, tapi dia cakap tak payah panggil ustaz, kau nak panggil ustaz buat apa. I was so far, macam mana aku boleh dengar. Macam everyone was like reading macam and then seorang tu pun tak, macam baca kat dia pun semua sampai mata dia pun dah tengok ke atas whatsoever, and then baca suddenly diorang tarik tu sampai dapat lah. I don't remember what happened that time. Suddenly dia dah ke bawah. Bila diorang baca, at the same time ada wak tu kan duduk rumah tu kan. So time tu I macam fikir, kenapa wak ni duduk rumah ni, something is wrong with the house. Time tu I dah fikir. Lepas tu at the same time the thing was happening, that wak tanya, dia dari bilik mana, dia cakap macam tu. Lepas tu I cakap, mana lah ingat. Sebab macam tengah panik kan. Macam I fikir, kenapa penting sangat dengan bilik tu kan. Lepas tu I cakap, ke sini memang ada apa-apa, tanya dia. Dia kata ini dari luar ni, dia cakap macam tu. So during that time yang I cakap with my friend yang kena panggil ustaz ni kan, sebab that what is not helping us to call the ustaz. So bila I lari, I terus patah balik. Tau. Macam I couldn't go out from there to find any ustaz, because the ghost pun macam marah, and dia kata dia macam marah-marah lah, macam tempat ni, tanah ini milik Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. She was like saying like, I don't remember that time, and I believe that that's a hantu Islam lah. So after that kita orang dah baca-baca apa semua, dia baca that girl is muntah. Dia muntah, dia keluar daun and macam warna paya, because that place macam ada warna putih tau, macam tiles lah. So dia muntah, memang muntah yang takkanlah kita orang bagi dia makan daun kot. Tadi aku bagi makan kek tadi kan,
muntah yang tak biasa punya muntah.
I was thinking like, is she like eating the daun pisang while hugging the trees kan. Tak bad. Memang apparently dia memang muntah. I nampak, I macam this is real. So I macam okay. So that time memang everyone was like memang meremang lah. Memang I macam what is going on actually, and the one guy like reading the Quran for him as well, dia ludah kat muka orang tu. Yes, dia ludah.
Itu betul-betul exorcist.
Yes. And then she was like, her eyes was really red and then looking like that, and we are trying to mandikan dia lah. So apparently I dengan my friend, because my friend lain takut. Tapi kawan I yang seorang lagi tu memang dah tidur dalam bilik, tidur mati. So I pun pergi toilet mandikan dia. She said, I don't remember what is going on. And then bila time dia tengah mandi tu, nampak lah yang, sebab dia tersembam on lantai tu and bengkak, and then nampak ada satu gigitan dekat badan dia.
Ya ke?
Yeah. It's like very red that time.
Ada macam ada biru merah gitu.
Ada gigitan, ada gigi. Maksudnya hantu tu bergigi lah kot.
Bergigi kan? Gigi macam mana?
Bukan bit her lah.
Bukan gigi manusia lah. Nampak gigi binatang.
Yeah. And then waktu mandi tu pun I macam nampak banyak patung. It's like keep coming back. When I tarik, keep coming back. And I was like, it's okay. And then and the wak was still trying to give water, but at the same time I know he knows something in the house, right? I know something is not right in the house actually.
Waktu yang pakcik kat pagar lah. Oh, dapat jumpa dia lah.
Because he's staying in the house. He's staying.
Not the pakcik kat pagar.
Bukan pakcik pagar. The other one.
The one yang jaga kat rumah.
Okay,
pakcik tu I tak nampak dah.
Itulah. Okay.
And then after that pun I pun tolong dia mandi siap-siap apa semua. bawa dia pergi toilet. Pergi toilet and then pergi masuk bilik. Dia pun I try lah suruh dia tidur apa semua. And I couldn't sleep because people said maybe we have to bring her out from this house. I said it's impossible because it's 3 a.m. If we go out, maybe we'll be much worse lah kan. So bila dia duduk okay, and then I suruh dia tidur whatsoever. And then everyone memang tak boleh tidur. Even me, macam I was trying to sleep, but my friend yang seorang tu memang dia tidur mati and she don't even know anything. So waktu malam tu everyone is not sleeping. And then I realised that waktu kita orang tengah bincang-bincang, so waktu tu memang everyone memang meremah lah, macam rasa still lagi tak okay and that girl punya phone pun hilang that time. So apparently ada seorang mamat dia berani, dia pergilah dekat pokok tu, phone dia dekat pokok tu actually. So she also didn't remember what happened that time.
Was she still possessed throughout the night sampai pagi?
She couldn't sleep. She's no longer possessed, but she feels like heavy. She feels like when people reading Quran, macam baca-baca tu kan, yang hantu tu cakap semua nak jadi ustaz that time. She was looking atas tau, macam she feels like something is tarik dia ke alam lain. She told me that time.
Wow.
Yeah, and then on that night she couldn't sleep. She just thinking what happened until tomorrow, and then tunggulah sampai pagi.
So sampai pagi she was okay already.
She was okay lah. Tapi I pun macam takut juga tiba-tiba dia mengamuk ke apa kan.
So Myra rasa dia kena rasuk sebelum masuk bilik air atau lepas?
I rasa selepas because she's on her period.
Okay.
And
that's why.
Yeah.
So like lagi senang nak rasuk kot.
And I tak tahulah sebab I spray reset ke apa kan.
You marah. you bagi dia benda tu
Hantu
marah.
tak suka. Dia hantu nyamuk ni.
Tapi because the toilet was really big, ada cermin yang besar. Waktu I nak tidur tu pun I macam takut lah nak tutup mata. I pun cuci mata, macam cuci muka pun buka je mata kan. Sebab I know, I think it's from the toilet because I remember that she's the one that the first person using that toilet after we said that the smell was really really bad.
Tapi the bau dari toilet ke?
That toilet memang from that toilet.
So keras lah toilet tu.
So meaning that when you guys dah sampai dah masuk, when you both smelt that means possibly that thing was warning.
Yeah, and my friend pula cakap bau. I pula pergi spray reset. Because there's no one, I tak tahulah pernah tak orang spray reset dekat toilet. I don't think so.
Kalau tak ada glade memang kena reset lah.
Yeah,
ni reset dari punya bilik reset lah, bukan you bawa reset kan?
Tak, memang ada dekat
okay,
bilik. Dekat bilik I nampak betul pergi spray.
So this company retreat ni memang satu malam
Satu malam.
Satu malam. So gerak the next day.
Tapi I balik awal pagi tu I terus belawal.
Hell no.
And everybody else?
Everybody else they are saying
check out lah, normal time
diorang pergi lah mandi kolam whatsoever. Tapi waktu last tu macam adalah seorang tu tertinggal. Dia ada seorang pekerja Bangla tu, dia tertinggal. I baca dalam group macam why everyone left me. I rasa semua orang takut nak keluar kalang kabut dan tertinggal this one guy. Kesian jugalah kat dia sebenarnya. Mesti dia trauma semua hidup dia.
Kesian. So berapa orang kan this company retreat?
I think
ramai juga kan?
20 I think.
20?
I think so. 20 ke jap?
Ramai tu.
10, I think 20 I think.
It's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot for a lot of people. And all of them saw it.
Semua
90% of them knew what was going on lah that night.
Yes. And everyone is not sleeping that night. And ada seorang tu pun macam still macam dia rasa tak okay, nak tidur pun susah whatsoever.
So did you guys all masa tu dalam bilik tu you in the same room with that girl yang the toilet girl lah.
And then with the girl yang my friend yang tidur tu.
So there's 3 of you in that room.
And my boss as well. 4 I think. But in the morning my friend bangun macam, "Oi, bestnya tidur semalam." I cakap, otak kau best. Orang semalam punya lah nak kena rukiah macam-macam.
Sebab dia tidur mati.
Yes.
Tak ada apa-apa.
Actually like macam better lah. Mungkin kalau dia nampak, mungkin dia pun macam panic whatsoever, right?
She's like, I had the best sleep.
Yeah, she had the best sleep. The best sleep lah, I think.
So let's be clear. So that toilet girl, dia peluk pokok daun, right?
Pisang.
Pokok pisang. About 8 to 10 people dragged her out.
I think yeah.
Okay. Then bawa dia bilik. Bawa dia kat mana?
Tak, dekat tepi, kat
tepi
luar
tu,
je. Kat luar. Because the toilet also pun kat luar. Because that thing happening memang dekat situ je. And I remember after that I tanya Wak tu, saya cakap dengan dia, saya nak kau tahu rumah. And then I call, I ingat lagi, I was talking with the owner. I cakap ada seorang tak okay apa semua. I cakap pernah jadi macam ni? Dia kata tak pernah. Dia kata tapi I rasa macam tak mungkin tak pernah. Sebab kenapa that guy have to sit dekat dalam rumah tu?
Dia tak tolong langsung kan?
Dia macam just bising, macam adalah dia try bagi air, tapi at the same time dia macam ini dari luar ni, ini dari luar. He keep saying that dari luar. But after kita orang dah habis apa semua, my friend pergi berubat. She said that the ghost was like beratus tahun.
Oh wow.
Memang ikut dia balik.
So you're close to toilet girl, so your friend?
Not really that close lah, but I was giving advices apa semua lah.
So masa the baring outside, so all your colleagues 8 to 10 tengah baca. So that's the only exercise macam tu lah. Tak ada ustaz, tak berumur, tak ada datang.
Because we couldn't find the ustaz.
Korang baca je.
Baca lah, semua tak tahulah baca apa semua.
Baca je.
Adalah someone like macam this one guy pun letak lah garam, and then dia cuba juga.
Wait, this is, so you know what I'm hearing? This is like makeshift, what they know. No professional was there kan. Dia orang baca-baca je, and then time went by, and then she tak faham. Hantu tu masih lagi dalam dia kan. Right, until dia berubat. So it just was less in the morning.
I mean,
so kiranya waktu I tidur kat bilik tu, aku tidur tu, hantu tu pun ada juga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm.
And the ghost was like angry because maybe dia marah mungkin kita orang ramai with all people, and and she said that tanah ni milik Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. So
tanah suci lah.
Tanah suci.
And then
yes.
You guys came to party.
And then so what it's not really party lah, it's just like a retreat. It just have family fun. So waktu malam tu barulah I tergerak hati nak baca the reviews on the Google.
And then
selalunya I will always do like before that. So when I read the reviews, everything is about ghosts.
Serious?
Yes. And then ada seorang tu cakap the house is not really clean, we saw like so many kelibat, and then ada yang cakap we couldn't sleep, and then ada satu lagi dia cakap kita orang keluar rumah nampak dekat kereta, dekat kolam. Wow. So memang the house is actually haunted.
Yes, obviously kan.
Tapi sampai hari ni kan I terfikir, bila I balik tu, I was telling like my friend, my family, my sister, and I remember like there is no cow in tempat yang tinggi macam tu. I fikir balik kan, lembu apa yang dekat atas tu? I cakap kalau kambing gurun okey lah kan, kambing gurun kan lembu. Pasal I macam fikir, pasal waktu I turun tu kan, mana ada lembu weh. But I was like, until now I was thinking, where is the lembu? So actually I think, I don't know, the guy was like orang ke tak ke, tapi I memang pesan kat orang, please close the door back.
That was probably also a caretaker. The one that came and knocked on your door, possibly.
I didn't know that. But I was thinking like, if the house was like, diorang akan kacau setiap orang yang datang ke, and maybe diorang dah beli rumah tu and diorang terpaksa sewakan juga. So apparently they have to put the work there and untuk menjaga. Tapi still the ghost is like disturbing people. So berapa banyak hantu yang dia dah bawa masuk and keluarkan daripada tempat tu.
Betul, that's true. Mungkin every time there's a guest, mangsa baru kan, mangsa baru tu are transportation for these hantus.
So they wanted to travel to new place.
Maybe. It's funny, they only masuk one person out of 20. Why not one, not just more than one kan?
Maybe because they always aim for the weakest one.
Yeah, because I realized
she was not well already.
She's not really well. She's not really mentally stable, and I think the ghost was like reading her mind as well. She said something that because of her mind as well.
Yeah, so semangat dia lemah sikit lah.
Yeah, because after that there's a one lady, she's a chef, and then I call her Mak. I cakap, Mak, you know there's something happen last time. Kata itulah Mak risau juga that time, nak pesan suruh baca-baca, jaga mulut. Tapi Tapi itulah I cakap nak buat macam mana mak, saya pun dah spray dah reset tu dekat toilet.
You and your Ritz. This episode is sponsored by Ritzek.
I'm still thinking until now, kenapa I orang first yang datang sampai, because usually macam tak adalah macam I macam tak nak together whatsoever, like I'm the one sampai dulu, like he opened the door for me. Like if I am brave enough, I will open the door manually for myself. And what I did is I was just sitting there in the car waiting for other people.
This caretaker, macam mana rupa dia macam mana?
He looks nice. He's like
orang asli kind of look.
Macam Uncle Malay.
Uncle Malay in his 50s.
50s like that. Yeah.
Cool. It'd be interesting with the caretaker, that pakcik, right? It's the pagar is a physical thing, but it's also a spiritual pagar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I always dengar tentang pagar rumah, pagar tu pagar ni. But until now I was thinking, is it the real pagar is actually that pagar? Or just the pagar? Because I have one friend staying at level 47 in Setapak, her house. She bought the house. So last time when I was at her house, I pernah lah dengar macam ada orang ketuk tingkap, tapi macam tingkap 47 kot. So she say that the house waktu nak renovate pun pernah kena kacau whatsoever, macam lampu buka, toilet apa semua. Dia kata she had pagar the house, and actually that thing is for having staying there for I think 70 years like that. And I was like, oh, tingginya rumah dia orang. I macam tu macam yeah, but apparently I macam are they trying to get in the house or faham tak maksud, sebab dia dah pagar yang tak nampak. So macam bila I wanted to relate with that story, but that pagar is really nampak. And I pesan with everyone in the group, lepas buka pagar tu tutup balik, and everyone was doing that.
Yeah. Well, 70 years ago, maybe that condo was, hutan, bukit, right? So those things memang kita yang the guests of this dunia ni.
Yes.
Yeah, kita just pelawak je. So they're the real tuan rumah. Man, kesian toilet girl. So bila dia bangun,
like kesian that we call her toilet girl.
Kesian toilet girl. So for safety, so bila dia bangun, right, dalam subuh, dia macam nampak keliru ke macam mana?
Ya, macam keliru. Lepas tu ada bengkak kat muka dia because she tersembam, and then ada gigitan.
Gigitan kat mana?
I think dekat tangan tak silap I.
Bengkak
lah, bengkak.
Tapi the gigitan, did it look like, what kind of teeth mark did it look like?
Dia nampak macam tak nampak macam gigi manusia lah, I think.
What is not a gigi manusia?
Macam maybe like macam nampak macam musang punya gigitan ke whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
so until now I was thinking macam mana hantu tu nampak, macam like what does the ghost looks like, because waktu kejadian tu I memang meremang lah bulu roma tu. Memang I rasa macam is she safe? That's the only thing that I risau that time, because I takut dia dibawa ke tempat lain. Because she said that because she said that thing wanted to bring her to another place actually. She's because waktu dia orang tengah baca tu, nampak mata dia dah ke atas tu macam dah memang dia macam sebut, dia pun cakap ya Allah, memang everyone was like memang intense lah, memang semua baca, dia pun macam ya Allah semua macam try, tapi alhamdulillah that it's safe. And yang tu lah jadi dia muntah tu keluar macam warna air paya and daun-daun tu semua, because it's not logic, macam dari mana benda tu datang. Because I pernah cerita with my sister and my brother-in-law, and then he asked, dia makan daun pisang tu ke? I cakap tak, no, because it's happening, it's really real, and I was so scared that time.
So I think the world that she was being pulled into, that the thing was trying to tarik her masuk, is dekat pokok lah.
Yeah.
So luckily your friends managed to pull her off.
Yeah, and if I think if she didn't cry, maybe we didn't realize that.
Exactly.
Like dia dah pergi ke tempat lain dah rasa.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, I think one of the reason that I realized as well is because once I put my friend, I was reading ayat kursi, I letak. So that time I yang start dengar juga tau sebenarnya. I was trying to find where's the voice datang dari mana. That's why I cakap bila I dah dengar je, I just ask the chef to put the kids inside the room because I don't want the kids to see what happening there. Yeah.
There were kids.
There were kids. The chef and her wife bawa kids dia 2 orang.
The chef came with your rombongan.
Yeah, chef.
Oh, not from the.
Because it's a restaurant. Okay, my company is a restaurant actually.
Okay. So chef and his wife brought the kids. So they were the only kids.
Yeah, ada 2 orang lah that time.
Okay, got it. Understood. Wow.
Well, very, very, very interesting experience.
So staff ni were the waiters. Okay. Alright. Okay. Pekerja restoran lah semua.
Ya, ada Pakistan, Bangladesh. I rasa kesian dekat diorang because that's the first time they went to a place that very huge, very very nice view, but they didn't sleep at all that night. I kesian sangat because they are trying to have a great memories at the same time because they are really kind because we know that they came from other countries, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't sleep at all because I can see that how they are scared at that time.
So the bau, right? You and your colleague smelled in the room. Describe. No, the toilet was there. It was in the room first, kan?
In the room.
Then you found out it's from the toilet. Bau dia macam mana?
Bau dia memang busuk sangat, macam bau bangkai, macam bau.
Oh, wow. Well, I have never smelled what bangkai smells like, but
dia tak ada dah terlalu bangkai, but dia macam menusuk lah bau dia macam dia lalu macam.
It's like when you tiba-tiba you jalan, you nampak apa ni, bangkai kucing apa, and it's like
in a way, but I don't know.
And dia mix dengan bau sampah. Dia macam tu.
And then ritzak.
Ya, riset tu lepas tu lah.
Sampah. So rotting flesh.
Tapi I pernah cakap dengan kawan I was making joke, kata mesti hantu tu bengang dengan kau. Mana pernah orang nak spray riset dekat dia. Mungkin tu kot dia marah.
Macam amboi, kurang ajar betul.
Hinanya aku kau spray riset. Wow.
Thank you, Myra. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for coming here and sharing your story.
Yeah. Kalau any of your member or former colleagues want to share that story,
okay. I tak tahu lah ada lagi ke tak cerita hantu lain. Masa macam ada, tapi I don't remember lah that time.
If you have any questions for Umaira, any other questions that maybe we have not thought of, please ask in the comments, and she'll do her best to reply.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I don't know whether enjoy or inspiration.
We were intrigued. Yes, enjoy. We always enjoy all the stories.
Yeah. All right. So guys, before we go, we'd just like to remind you guys to subscribe, comment, and like, and don't forget to share all our socials.
Yes, follow our TikTok and IG and Spotify.
And with that, guys, my name is Fairil.
I'm Moe,
and I'm Umaira Bajrai.
And we'll see you guys on another episode of
Naik Bulu Tales.